treatment that your veterinarian may prescribe includes changing their diet as well as giving insulin. In order to make sure that the level of insulin is appropriate, the veterinarian may do glucose curves and fructosamine tests. Then you have arthritis. Dr. Holly Nash from PetEducation.com also said that cats that are overweight are 3 to 5 times more likely to become lame or arthritic. And she explains that the force from the extra weight when the cat jumps down may damage the joints. So, the treatment is actually really difficult for cats, as cats cannot take many non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. And confinement is difficult, you can imagine. But you can also give them joint supplements like Cosequin to help protect their joints. Now that I've covered the problems that overweight cats face, I'd like to help you know what you can do if you have a cat that's overweight. This can also help you if you have a dog that's overweight too. So, you can kind of limit treats and people food. I know we like to give treats. You can also determine if you're feeding too much. So you actually want to look on the bag, and they'll have a scale of what you want to feed. And you want to feed them for the weight you want them to be, and what's healthiest for them. You can also switch to a weight loss diet that can either be prescription or non-prescription. But what's really important, especially in cats, is to switch it very slowly over a week's time so that they don't stop eating. You can exercise your pet more. You can play with them or buy them toys that they will play with on their own. You can also put their food in a spot they'll have to work to get to. This one I really like with really fat cats. In a multi-cat household, and if there's a big enough size difference, you can put the food in a spot where the larger cat can't reach. For example, you can even get a cardboard box, cut a little hole in it the size of the smaller cat, where the smaller cat can go in, and the big cat can't. You can also consult your veterinarian. That can be important if things aren't working. So in this presentation, I've explored how to tell if your cat's overweight, what some causes of obesity are, what some problems overweight cats face, and what you can do to help your cat lose weight if you notice that they're obese. So, even though your cats may beg, we have a responsibility to provide them with a diet that helps them maintain a proper weight and live a long and healthy life with us. Thank you. Got Juan back there for questions.
How do you exercise a cat? I mean, I have a fat cat, but I can't seem to put on a leash or whatever.
Leash training can be very difficult in cats, but what you can do is get like a laser pointer and point it off. The problem with my cat is, like, I can get one of those little toys where I go in front of him, and he'll just kind of lay there and be like, but like, he'll eventually get so annoyed by it that he'll just start. So you kind of have to annoy them to get them to exercise sometimes. And any other questions? All right.
I just wanted to commend you for putting those huge medical terms in a way that I can understand and I can describe it.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions?
I'm wondering, because I know in humans there's there's a metabolic control for us to, like, when we eat, we get full, we stop eating. I'm wondering, I'm pretty sure it probably works the same thing in cats, but they just get food.
There's a problem also now because their food is so palatable that they just have to keep eating. So we really, like, there's some cats you will see that self-regulate. Like, I have a cat that can be on free feed, no problem. The other cat can't. So I think that's another part we have to look into each cat.
Does breeding play a role in this? Cats in nature, just living by themselves, would they not be obese and is part of the domestication and breeding?
It definitely is a part of the domestication. Breeding does sometimes play a role. You do have Maine Coon cats that are naturally actually about 20 pounds. So that being that weight is not uncommon for them. But it's also part of the lifestyle that we give our cats. Is, you know, we imagine them just laying around, but really in the wild they're going under houses, they're climbing trees. You know, we just don't have the kind of enrichment that they need to be the way that they should be.
I'm just curious, how many cats do you have?
They actually live with my mom, and so the older cat is actually gaining weight again.
So I had a cat that he's no longer, but he loved being outside, and I thought that's what makes him happy. He should be outside, and people would say, oh, you know, cats can go outside, those might get killed and so on. What is your feeling having, you know, looked at cats and having cats? If that is the cat's nature, when you talk about cats lazing around, that is it partly because they're just not allowed to go outside and stay at home?
I think that is part of it, but I think, I mean, we do there is an inherent, there is danger from them going outside. They can get diseases and things like that, but if you can also offer being outside in a controlled environment, like doing leash training, or even just like, there's some people that fence in their patios and things like that and create outdoor areas where the cats can go up. I mean, and there is actually, I mean, you can have cats that do work like barn cats and things like that, like we had on our farm. So there is sometimes where there is a cat that has its nature to just kind of be an outdoor cat, but I mean, we do have.
With older cats compared to younger cats, or is it expected that they'll be a little bit heavier as they get older, and what's considered a normal amount of weight difference from a younger to an older cat? Not the same species.
It is actually, it really depends on the cat, and that's why we kind of go by the BMI. If you notice that your cat is like, it's becoming like really skin and bones, like I didn't talk about the 1 and the 2 on the level, but then you might be running into some problems. But you can also, because they're getting older, they'll have a decreased metabolism, so you actually will want to regulate their food a little bit more as they go on.
I heard this somewhere, I don't know if it's true. So I was going to feed, like, I had a stray cat outside, so I was going to give her milk, and my roommate was with me, and she was like, oh, cats are lactose intolerant.
It is actually, they can't digest milk as much as we think that they do. I mean, it kind of also varies from cat to cat. Like, we'll see, there's some poisons in dogs that like grapes and things like that you don't give to your pet, or like there's some dogs that have eaten chocolate and their owners will be like, fine, you know, like, oh no, Fluffy was fine after he ate the whole bag of chocolate, you know, not a problem. And so that's sometimes the case with cats too. It's like, oh, I always give my cat a thing of warm milk, it's no problem. It also depends on the cat. Any other pet questions also can work too. So.
I asked this jokingly. Who would name a female cat Bob?
As far as I know, they originally thought that it was a boy. This is actually not the first time that I've actually encountered something like that. One of the funniest names I ever found for a cat was brought in the cat to be neutered. The cat was named Rick James. Turned out to be a girl. So she still went by Rick James afterwards, but it was always kind of funny.
My male cat was named Cynthia. My daughter didn't know it was
So it definitely can make it fun for veterinary professionals. Okay.
I'm wondering, because I don't have a cat, do you just leave the cat to feed itself, to clean itself, and if it doesn't, and if it's like 37 pounds, and it can't clean itself, how do you use it?
Then it falls on the responsibility of the owner. Like, you'll notice cats, if they're really getting overweight and they are long haired, that they'll be matted. And so they'll have to be brought in for grooming. even if they're short hair, they will still like, you'll notice that they'll have a lot of extra fur and dirt and things like that, so you'll have to comb them as well. So, you can also get pet wipes, like, because, you know, cats don't like to be bathed. There's also like wet wipes that you can get that can help with that. Thank you all.